there are a lot of people listening to this that I hope pay close attention to what you and I are talking about. Do you think you tell yourself the truth?
Yes, actually, I feel like I tell myself I feel that way about myself. I truly do. But I know I would never like judge anybody else like that or say that to anybody else, So I feel like nobody would say that to me either. But it's just like
It's what
constant.
you believe.
Yeah.
I mean, you really believe this. You're
Yeah.
not lying to
No.
yourself. You think I know what I'm doing?
Yep.
You do?
Yes.
I disagree with some of what you're telling yourself. And look, the only way we know what's going on in the world is by our perceptions. There is no reality, only perception. Only way we know how to respond is by what we perceive. If I put a blindfold on you and walked you around and I told you the next step you were going to take was off of a 10-story building, you'd really fight that next
Yeah.
step, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I mean, you'd fight like if I was trying to put a cat in a sack. You'd really fight to do that if you perceived that that next step was off a 10-story building. And if you believe that you are damaged goods, what if I told you, and this is an important sentence, it's why I ask you if you think I know what I'm doing, because I've been doing this for over 45 years. What if I told you that you're lying to yourself? You did what you did, but what if I told you that you have zero responsibility for what you did when you were 13 or 14 with those older guys, but you have 100% accountability for what you do about it now? What would you say if I told you that?
I would say you're right. That's true.
Why would it be true?
Because it's in the past. It's
not just because it's in the past. You didn't have sex with some guy when you were 13 or 14. You were raped. That's not sex, Gracelyn, that's rape. When you're 13 or 14 and somebody in their 20s exploits you in that way, that's rape. People go to the penitentiary for that. You were a child. You weren't having sex. You did not give consent because you don't have the capacity to give consent when you're 13, 14 years old about having an encounter, a physical encounter with somebody in their 20s. That's rape.
okay, thank you. I needed to hear that so bad.
I'm not telling you this because I want you to just feel better. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. When you're 13, you can't give consent. Why? Because you don't have the capacity to give consent because you're a child. You weren't a perpetrator, you were a victim. You are lying to yourself because you don't know all the facts here, and I'm trying to give you the facts just because I want you to start telling yourself the truth. So my point is, what if your perception has been a misperception? What if you have been labeling yourself as less than? What if you've been labeling yourself as damaged when in fact you were a victim and are now a survivor of something that happened to you much younger?
Yeah, I feel like that would be a relief because I feel like I've never really talked about it. And so I just felt like I've never been able to be the victim. It was always, their side of the story or whatever they wanted to say. And I never said anything.
You need to own the narrative in your own life. And it's not a matter of making excuses, it's a matter of dealing with the truth. And you're telling yourself a pack of lies about what happened. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.